Hi everyone, James here from Linode, and I've managed to pinch a very special guest this morning. Tony has joined me. I've literally just grabbed him straight out of a CompTIA meeting. Tony Francisco, it's a pleasure to have you here. I know you from the MSP Dispatch YouTube channel, which is gaining popularity pretty rapidly, but I've also just found out you're the inventor of multi-tenancy exchange back in 2003, which is quite a big deal. I'll give you a bit of an intro now, but please introduce yourself as well to the masses.
Tony Francisco, CEO of a company called CloudPlus. Back in 2003, I came up with this crazy idea to create a multi-tenant hosted exchange offering. No one thought that would work. Who would ever host their exchange? What a horrible idea. It'll just be a hobby. It turned out it's kind of a trend. It's kind of cool, kind of a cool thing. Made my mark, and what happened at that point is there was no such thing as an MSP. It was just a VAR, value-added reseller, and we came out with a private label solution, the first ever private label solution, the first ever customer-facing interface for hosted services, click to provision, which was just cutting edge back then. But what that actually turned into is we watched the genesis of the MSP become created. There was no MSP. We watched the genesis of it, and we watched the evolution of the MSP occur right in front of our eyes. And pretty soon we start to realize that, hey, we understand this stuff, and this is a real thing. And the MSP was a joke back then. Oh, who would? No, just equipment. Why would we put everything in hosted services? Then slowly but surely, we're watching the evolution to the TSP, the technology service provider, where everybody is selling the same thing. Now they're looking for more of a frictionless way to sell them,
as well.
and a better way to manage the solution. And how can you add your own secret sauce on top of that to add more value on top of, frankly, the thing that everybody's selling the same way. So it's amazing being at this event. The camera, the group doesn't realize how tall James is compared to me. Like, I look like a hobbit. Like, I'm actually the size of a hobbit, but I'm sitting on 3 different books.
In fairness, everyone does. I'm kind of a freak of nature. That's just to be accepted. But so after inventing multi-tenancy exchange, which was, you've done what you've done, you went on to much bigger things, MSP Dispatch. So not to belittle it, it's a fantastic show. Tony, tell me about your experience on that. Give it a little plug.
MSP Dispatch, it's a great show. Ray Orsini and myself own it. We host it, and Ray owns a production company. He's turned it into something amazing. What we do is twice a week, every Tuesday morning and Friday morning, we pick out the topics that are very relevant to the MSP community, and we talk about them. Just 3 topics, and there's some notable mentions, but those 3 topics that we talk about isn't just a, hey, here's a news where we kind of aggregate things. There's also an editorial. It's an opinion of it, and it's not always PG, by the way, because we're saying the things that the community is thinking. What the heck were they thinking? I say that a lot of the times, but there's a lot of factual statistical data and a lot of focus on security, ransomware, and the what to do's if, and here's some points of contact, a lot of best practices, but really, really focusing on the news that frankly matters to the MSPs out there.
I think it's brilliant, and I think it's that relaxed style that you two have got between you. The dynamic really works, and saying what needs to be said. So that's brilliant. Listen, we're at the CompTIA event, so we should probably mention what's been talked about here. Any particular takeaways? We've had quite a few good speakers, some really good meetings. Anything that's stuck in your mind as something maybe that MSP should take note of, particularly at the moment? Trends, perhaps?
I can't say enough good things about CompTIA. The true heterogeneous environment here, where, as opposed to the homogeneous environment where there's a single point or a single type of vendor or MSP, the heterogeneous gathering here where there's so many different types of MSPs, sizes of MSPs that focus on security, they focus on just the implementation, just the management, maintenance, break fix, all the above, putting together all the break fixes here and listening to all the, we'll call them very passionate, perspectives of all of them, because they're all relevant.
Yeah.
And they all build up just an extra 1, 2, 4, or 5% better when they leave this. It's just amazing to watch it all happen and be a part of it. So I can't recommend enough that it's great seeing you at the event. I mean, just because you're so tall, I'm surprised they let you in. They say, sorry, sir, you have to be under this tall.
I struggled to get through the door, honestly, but I mean, with a bend, I was fine.
But the people here are amazing, and what you walk away with is always more than you started with. And remembering it all, writing it all down, best practices. There's a lot of live broadcasts, and going to CompTIA.org, I believe there's a lot of publications, the things that we work on in the board meetings, the frameworks that should be implemented globally for best practices. That's my takeaway. It's just, this is a great place to be, and it's not just while you're here. It goes much longer after the event is over.
I love it. Often I'm overhearing sort of chats at the bar and what have you, and you hear like there's MSPs sharing particular challenges with their peers, and and there's genuine solutions coming back from people that are suffering from the same problems and things. So it's fantastic, and the content, it just keeps on coming. I think the issue is trying to get that out there and make people aware of it, right? Because there's so much stuff, and it's just like it's kind of sometimes it's a hidden secret that is there. So we need to do a good job on promoting that. But listen, Tony, it's been fantastic. I know I've taken enough of your time already, so thank you for joining me. Any final words? Any a last plug, perhaps?
Last plug. I am fascinated with Linode and Akamai company. No one's really talking about it. And the more I learn about it, it's literally a boutique feel on the front end with a massive global presence on the back end. If you haven't learned about Linode, talk to these guys. Great next step in the evolution of just a polarized hosting environment between the two big hosting companies out there. I think we're going to have another major player involved for frankly, the regular people, the MSPs that actually, what's that called? Oh yeah, know what they're doing.
Absolutely. I hope we're a good fit. Listen, thanks very much for that. And if you haven't subscribed to MSP Dispatch, I mean, it's a complete no-brainer. Head over there to YouTube right now, get subscribed, and hopefully I'm going to try and wangle my way on your show at some point. So we'll see. Listen, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining me, Tony. Loved it.
Thank you so much for your time.
All the best.